Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I know post-lunch session, it's very difficult, and looking into the way you are sitting, it itself is telling that it's going to be a difficult task. But making it very easy task for me and for you, I would request all the backbenchers, to come forward, please, so that I can start the session, because that is the precondition for starting the session. So I would request all of you, please come over here if you really, want to get something out of the session. And that would be interesting because I want to make sure that it is never a one-way session, but it must be a two-way session only. And so I have given you some trouble of changing your seats. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being so quick and so responsive. So wonderful. First of all, let us congratulate EMRC Gujarat University and the team members of EMRC Gujarat University taking this initiative of organizing this program, design and development of the digital e-content, and especially when we are saying e-content and when we are saying MOOC, massive online open courses, that every one of you must be very, very clear by now. So we are congratulating the team. A big round of applause, because since so many days they are putting a lot of hard work in making this event possible, and I'm very, very sure looking into the level of the order that they have freezed in terms of the session, the level of speakers that they have called so far. I'm very, very sure about the success of the seminar, and I must congratulate you, because you have taken that initiative to participate. You have shown that willingness to be one of among all the members, that yes, I want to go in this direction. I want to do something different than the routine, because all of us are teachers. Most of us must be, all of us are academicians over here. Please raise your hands and confirm. Yeah, we'll do some exercises in between so that aapki neend at least ud jaye before I start. Yeah, so I've seen that all of you are academicians, and it's wonderful. What happens is, in general, as an academicians, we are used to teaching. I mean, we do teach a lot, right? We keep on teaching, we keep on learning. We know about the subject in which we are specialized at, and we want to know more and more and more many times in the subject or in the sub-themes or the themes that we are focusing upon. So please come forward. We welcome you. So the point is over here is, when we are learning, when we are knowing the things, first question that I would like to ask to all of you is, how many of you have come here in this session for getting a certificate? How many of you are having an objective that chalo yaar seminar attend karke aate hain, and at least I'll have one certificate in my hand of attending a national seminar on digital content and whatsoever? How many of you? So clap for you. There's no one in this, then why you were backbenchers, by the way. So there's no one in this session who just is here to earn the certificate, and that's a great, importance that you have shown to this program, because this program is meant for that. This program is meant for giving you something in written, learning unlearned, serving you something which is not experienced so far. And I'm very sure by going into the EMRC, studio, you might have experienced something which you have never experienced so far, or some of you might have undergone the process of the MOOCs. Okay. Second question that I would like to ask is, how many of you have developed any e-content or a MOOC? I'm just setting a base for my session, because my session is straight away on how to face a camera. But then how to face a camera, along with the camera, if you're not confident, if you don't know what to talk, if you don't know what you want to communicate, if you're not clear with what you want to go for and why are you there for sitting in front of the camera, I'm very sure that we will not be able to, right? Just that happens in the class. In the class also, we are telling to the students that prepare yourself, right? Get set, go. You must be very, very clear in your mind what do you really want to do. Until unless you are not clear, facing people, facing camera, that is very, very, I'll tell you, very subsidiary thing. And I'm very sure that as an academicians, that in general will not trouble you a lot if you're clear with the fundamentals. And so I'm going deep in the fundamentals first. I'll try to make sure that, whichever part which I feel personally, because I have not attended all the sessions, but there might be some part. That is why I take 5 minutes to open several files, right? Why? Because it is ultimately at the end of the day, when the sessions are getting over, as a part of team, it is again my duty to make sure that कुछ कुछ ऐसा चीज़ जो आपके दिमाग में रह गया, ऐसा ना हो कि 2 दिन के सेशंस के बाद भी यार ये चीज़ पूछना रह गया, या ये तो मुझे जानना था, ये तो समझ में नहीं आया. So along with how to face camera, I will also try to make sure that if you have any questions in your mind with reference to the MOOCs, with reference to any damn thing related to the MOOC and the e-content, I'll try to serve you. And that is why the second question that I asked was, have I asked any question? Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So, how many of you have developed any MOOC so far? E-content. Okay. How many of you have developed e-content? Okay. Can I know what type of e-content? Videos, YouTube. Okay. So, organizational point of view. When the organization has given you some task, which university you are into? Kadisa Vidya. So, they have their own setup? No. So you have done on your laptop. Okay. Any other method that anyone has used other than Correct. Okay. You have your own studio setup. So you have fundamentals of how to face a camera in the studios and all. Yeah. Correct. Very good. So Zoom videos, ma'am has placed. Fine. So we all know that after COVID, at least we all are in the digitalization era, and we all by now, creating a small video, sitting in front of camera and all. वो थोड़ा अभी वो टेंशन खत्म हो गया है after COVID. Okay. Then what is the tension ultimately? And importantly, when we are saying a MOOC, that many of you or most of you are saying that you have not developed any MOOC so far, right? Okay. How many of you are clear by now? Madam has said how to prepare a proposal and learner-centric MOOC, how to make a video, the sessions that you had. Suppose today, at the end of the day, when you go back your home after this exercise and after the sessions that you have, how many of you are right now in a stage where you say that I can do it? I can make a proposal. I can simply, khatam ho jayega apni side se. Great. Okay. So there are 5 people who are confident. Fine. So the people who are not confident, I will start with you. So ma'am, why you are saying you are not confident? In terms of let's say starting with making a proposal or applying for a MOOC. Let's start with that. Correct. See, ultimately at the end of the day, I want to make your life easy. And before I go from here, I want to make sure that all hands are raised. That is the ultimate goal. So please be with me. That will help you only. Yeah, please. Okay. Fine. Great. Better you tell your queries, because we are here to solve all your queries. Yeah. Anyone else from this side, ma'am? Yes. Fine. Okay, that will happen in just 5 minutes. Nothing in depth is needed, but I'll wrap up. Yeah, please. Yes. So you are confident. Yes. So we want you to give a step to these people who are not confident how to start with. Great. 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 But we want to make sure that you are not dependent upon any of us. And we want to make sure that everyone sitting over here, is irrespective of any dependency, and that would be our success, right? Okay, okay. So what would be the first step with which you will start? Content. You'll start with the content. You'll start with the content. Okay. What you will, I'm talking now to all those 5 who said yes. Okay. So he's saying content. Do you agree? Correct. Correct. Very nice. So your answer is subject. Okay. So you'll think over a first of all which subject. Okay. Anyone else? So yeah. Okay. But that would be parallel, right? You'll not wait for one semester to get over and then start. Correct. Correct. So, okay. So the point is you are very, very clear about the subject on which you can, prepare a book. That's good actually. Looking into the other side, you'll get an answer. Yeah. Correct. Okay. So you are saying that, for example, HR analytics. It may happen that you are interested in HR analytics, but when you go for applying it, it's not available in the list. It may happen that I, as a teacher, feel that analytics is very important, but it may happen that on the MOOCs, the list that is shown or the gap areas that are shown, it is not available at all. So it may not match, right? Answer, you'll get the answer. Yeah. Script writing. Okay, that would not be the first stage because the first stage will be clear about where you want to go. What is the end? For example, I started with those slides and 3-4 files open because up to now where you have reached, first of all, I want to know that. And once knowing that gap area, if I know what is the gap area and then I start, the result would be different. What type of audience is immaterial because we don't know many a times who would be the audience. Audience can be anyone across, so we are not worried at all about the audience, okay? Anything else? Yes. So she is perfect. You would start with a broad subject area. Let's say broad. Broad is here management. Broad is here arts. Broad is here science. Broad is here commerce, or any other area you are into, law. So that is a broad area, broad discipline, you'll say. Okay. And the second is a subdomain, right? Let's say if you're in the management, you'll say HR. If you're in the science, you may say zoology, biology, chemistry, biochemistry, physics, whatever. Okay. If you're in commerce, again, you'll say account, statistics. If you're in arts, you may say English, Gujarati, or the languages that you have. So the broad and the subdomain area that you may like to focus upon. Now, when you are saying HR, it has different branches. When you are saying accounting in commerce, it has so many things. When you are saying English, it have English as a language, English as a literature. When you are saying physics or chemistry or bio, it has branches and a sub-branches. Okay. And I as a HR person or I as a finance person or I as an accountant may not be, very, very sure to go into all areas. Because at starting, I have to go for any one area. Any one area. And so I need to freeze in my mind number one. Number one is what I want to provide, and number two is what they are looking for. There should be intersection between the two. I want to go in HR analytics, but they don't want HR analytics. For example, it is not listed it at all. Then it would be a vain exercise. So there can be two ways. Number one is starting point can be what are the 1, 2, 3, 4 areas that you may like to focus upon. I want to focus as a management. I want to go in general management. I want to go on skill development. I want to go on entrepreneurship. I want to go on finance, whatever. 4, 5 areas that you may think upon, right? Number two is going straight away to making proposal site. Okay, so idea you have identified. We'll see how to go ahead. No doubt, in the proposal making, ma'am has already gone into the detail, but looking into the gap areas on the basis of the questions that you ask, I'll show you something. So, number one is identification of the broad discipline and then specifically narrow with the subject. How would you identify the subject? We'll look into based upon the gap areas that we have. Once you have it, then thirdly, for that particular subject, already the syllabus is available. You need not to worry about the syllabus. You need not to refer the syllabus of Gujarat University or CBCS or any other also. Generally it is CBCS, but then, you know, on the portal itself, if you have gone through portal, you know, it is available. How many of you know how to apply for the MOOCs online? No, right? So when you are saying proposal making, the second important thing is, in the first session, when the Komal ma'am might have taught you how to make it that you must be knowing by now. What is weekly plan that you must be knowing by now? How to make it, you know, that is known by you, right? But the point is how to apply practically, okay? Let us focus upon that first. And then, importantly, why should I apply? That would come. Okay. So, when you have asked that, correct. So what should I do if somebody has already asked this question, and so I have gone into this, right? So all of us, those who are applying, they need to go to what? swayam.infleebnate.ac.in, right? This is the website. The first step that we said is select the broad area. Second, we said select a sub-theme. Okay, and when you are selecting a sub-subject, okay, where you should go, simply you should start with going, and all of you parallelly also, you want to go, because here I have logged upon, okay, but then if I have not logged upon, let's say, log out, okay. So when you do this, you will have this thing on your dashboard, okay. So the first thing that you would require to do is log in. But that is when you want to apply. But before that, you need to understand the parameters that ma'am might have obviously explained by now, right? So introduction to Swayam, that is known to you and that is given here. Scope of work, okay, quadrant that ma'am and the other teachers might have explained by now, right? That is also given over here. Whatever we are talking, on the other hand, it is also given over here. So that is why I said, after going from here, what should I do? So I should first refer this, swayam.infleebnate.ac.in, okay? And importantly, it is showing expression of interest that ma'am might have taken, right? So expression of interest that we are talking. So here we are going directly, right? So check your eligibility. So the first thing that you need to do parallelly is checking your eligibility. Are you eligible? So who is eligible? So here there are criterias also. Duly recognized institute or the university or the college holding PhD and having minimum of 5 years of teaching experience in the concerned discipline in which you want to go for producing the MOOC. right? Now what happens, let's say I'm a new, I'm an assistant professor. I want to, I'm interested in developing a MOOC. I want to start with a MOOC, okay, and I have a very, very good knowledge about can I do that? So the answer is yes. You can have co-coordinator, or you can have someone who is an experience of 5 years as a main coordinator, and you can be a joint coordinator. So simply you can have a joint coordinator, and secondly, the faculty employed be required to submit a consent letter of the host university that ma'am might have already talked about, the host university. You know consent letter, right? I don't want to go on the things which you already know, right? So the consent university, there is, see, when you go to here, consent letter, so in the guidelines or when you go for the submission, consent letter jo hai, uska apna ek format hai, and that format is also available over here. You need not to go here and there for that purpose also. So these are the financial norms, SWAYAM regulations, SWAYAM guideline. Anyone who want to go for development of the MOOC need to refer this 101%. The first task, other than the subject, other than the sub-points that you want to focus upon, other than the syllabus that you will look into here, parallel. This is a parallel work, right? You need to go to this website, you need to go to the regulation, you need to understand the scope of the work, you need to understand the guidelines, you need to check your eligibility, and then simply go to the submission of the proposal that ma'am might have taught to you. Let's say you are submitting a proposal on XY subject that you are good at. Okay, we are taking an example of HR analytics. Okay, she said, I would go for HR analytics, and let us check whether HR analytics is available or not. So I want to submit, so here they are talking about number 1, UG and PG level. Okay, so let's say UG, subject. So ma'am is in management, but right now, यहाँ पे देखो, management है available? नहीं available. What does that mean? Right now, gap area में वो नहीं आता है. That means there is a lot of literature and lot of MOOCs are available in the area. Okay, then what should I do? Is it a vain exercise then, attending this workshop? No. Commerce, management, and even everything is interdisciplinary, right? So what I'll do? Let's say commerce, and then C, right? We said where to start. Okay, so commerce, now in commerce, these are the areas that are available. So it can be international, fundamental of investment, corporate governance, HR analytics दिख रहा है यहाँ पे? You're getting what I'm trying to say to you? So for now, if I want to apply for HR analytics, that click is not available for now. If right now, if I want to apply and if I want to go ahead with, right? And so I may go into something like HR management, which I might be interested. Okay, fine. So you said, somebody said that I need to develop an outline. Okay, I need to develop where should I go, and I need to develop the content. Okay, now the content here is also given. So here they are saying click to open the syllabus. They are saying don't worry, be happy, simply click. Okay, और देखो क्या syllabus है, वो syllabus को सीधा देखो and then get set go. Right. So now what happens in a class also, when you want to go to teach in the class, the first thing that you are getting is syllabus in your hand. What do you do with the syllabus? What do you do after that? You're preparing for the sessions? So simply here also you are going to prepare for the sessions. Camera will come in between. Huh? Camera will come in between. So don't worry for that. Yeah. वरना बोलेंगे कैमरा का सेशन चल रहा है या इसका, पर ये नहीं समझे हैं तो कैमरा में नहीं जा पाएंगे. एंड बेस्ड अपॉन द क्वेश्चन आंसरिंग यू रेज दिस क्वेश्चन, सो आई हैव शोन, राइट. सो HR management, you have an outline now, you have overall framework now where you will go. How would you start? So your starting point is HR management concept and functions, and then the second chapter would be status. If you go in the class, what do you talk second? Status and competencies of HR manager. Next, you will talk about HR policies. Next, you are talking about evolution of HR, so on and so forth. The same thing you would do over here. Right? Whatever you are doing for your session before going in the class, the same thing you are doing here in the form of preparing a session plan. Not a big deal. Very easy. Right? So session plan, unit 1, 2, 4. Now it is already told 1 unit is equal to how many? Kitna credit hours? In the previous sessions it might have talked upon, right? 1 credit is equal to how many hours? 13 to 15, sure? 1 credit is equal to? Sorry? 13 to 15? But in general, we are going for 10 credit hours in present era, right? So when we are developing a MOOC, we have to keep in mind that एक unit है, उसका generally 10 session से ज़्यादा हम नहीं करेंगे. That we are keeping into mind. वो हमारा UGC की guidelines वाला 13 to 15 credit, hours that we are talking, but here we need to focus upon that. वो 15 hours है ना, उसमें से 10 घंटा आप पढ़ाएंगे, 5 घंटा एग्जाम भी लेना है. That's what आप सीधा उसको कनेक्ट करो आपके क्लास टीचिंग से. You have 45 sessions in the class. UGC is saying 1 credit is equal to 15 hours. We are going into the class. Are we teaching all 15 hours for 1? Doesn't mean we are not teaching, but it includes assignment, it includes presentations, it includes, lot of things as a participation of the students in the class. We do role plays, we do the internal evaluation, we do the external evaluation, so on and so forth. So here, we have to keep in mind that when we are preparing a session plan, for 1 unit, you should focus upon tentatively, not fixed. Teacher, who is a teacher? You are a teacher. You better know the subject. If somebody can say 10 session में इसको खत्म करो, आप बोलेंगे नहीं हो सकता है. उसका 15 session लगेगा तो लगेगा. Fine, fair enough, fantastic, not a problem. But in general, we have to make sure that 10 से 12, in general 10 credit hour, 10 working hours में वो खत्म हो जाए. Okay. Now this is done. So now you are clear with where you want to reach. Okay, and then रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर सबमिटिंग द प्रपोजल, आप उसके ऊपर क्लिक करोगे, यहाँ पे आपका नाम डालना पड़ेगा. यू हैव ईमेल, यू हैव स्टेट ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी, सेलेक्ट द यूनिवर्सिटी, एंटर द पासवर्ड एंड देन कंफर्म द पासवर्ड. करेक्ट? आर यू गेटिंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? सो व्हाट यू विल डू ओवर हियर, यू विल सिंपली रजिस्टर by entering all your details. That's why I said कि आज घर के जाके क्या करोगे. Right? If you don't know this, then simply it's not done. Right? So what you need to do is, you need to register yourself over here. You can write down your full name, your email ID, university, your university, okay? And then password and confirm password. And once you do, you'll have registration. So already registered, I have already registered. So I'll write down my email ID over here and I'll enter my password over here. Once we enter that, अभी ये भी भूल गया पासवर्ड. Correct. Okay. But I have already given a proposal. That is why it is showing proposal status. You will not get proposal status if you are going for the first time. So if you registered, it will ask you all the steps that madam might have explained you. Which steps? Objective. Objective of your subject. Okay. It will also include what? Come on, in the last class you have attended that. Learning outcomes. Introductory video, yes. Sorry? Start date, end date. But that you need not to put over here. They will not ask. But they will ask the group or the team of experts. Okay. So just like this, you have proposal status, communication, feedback, like that. There also you would have objective of study. You would have, team of experts whom you would like to add upon. Now the team of experts, remember that if you have a very good team, It is going to be a fantastic show. Why? There can be some person who is good at camera presentation. There can be some person who is good in writing, right? There can be some person who is good at evaluating and the other things. So you can have a good team. But when you are putting a proposal, you need to write down the team member's name also. So the third parallel thing that you can do is, if I am having a 1 year or 2 years experience and I want to develop a MOOC, what should I do is, I should join hands with someone who is having a 5 year of experience, because that is the pre-requirement. Okay. Or else, if I I have an experience, I can join hands with the colleagues who are good at. I can join hands with somebody who is sitting in, some other area. Let's say Goa mein koi baitha hai, but he is an expert in this field and he can write down very good chapters for my MOOC. Fine, fantastic. Getting the point? So it is not one man show. You can have a very good team with you, and you can write down the name of the team members over here when you are putting a proposal. Okay. The other thing is, it would ask is a weekly plan that madam might have shown to you so far, right? And then once you submit it, then it will also ask for a promo video, that is introductory video. Now introductory video can be something that he was doing, that is putting it on a mobile or through the laptop. You prepare it and you simply submit a link on that. Okay. And then once you submit it in your, and then if you log in, then somewhere it will talk about your proposal status. So what is the status of your proposal? Say for example, I applied for fundamental of investment. So view proposal. आपने proposal जो किया उसको view आप यहाँ पे कर सकते हैं पूरा. Okay. And then print proposal if you want to. Fine. On the other hand, if there is any communications from them, then communication or a feedback. I don't know whether any communication or received or not, but yes. Or if any communication that you want to do from here, that I have not got any reply yet, okay, कुछ भी आप यहाँ पे communication कर सकते हो, because it is a dashboard and directly it will go, right? So this is the second important thing that you need to do. Is it clear? Any doubt in this? Clear? Okay, so the second important thing that you would do is submit this proposal looking into the guidelines. And when you have submitted the proposal, let us now assume that you have got accepted. Okay, and that is why I said that how many of you are sitting here for a certification. Okay, अगर certification के लिए बैठे हैं तो हम बता देते हैं कि हर एक चीज़ में हम क्या करते हैं, अपना benefit देखते हैं. We say what is there in for me. If I want to develop a MOOC, what is there in for me? मेरा क्या फ़ायदा है? तो UGC ने बोला फ़ायदा ही फ़ायदा है. क्या फ़ायदा है? So you look into the guidelines, and if you refer the guidelines, and if you refer the pro forma in which the focus is here, right? And if you observe this, MOOCs, development of a complete MOOC in a 4 quadrants, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day, all of us are behind API. We want to do something either for X or Y benefit. So API is one of the important benefit when we started a journey, or let's say, for example, if I'm talking about myself, when I started a journey in this EMRC Gujarat University, there was nothing connected to API. There was nothing called a MOOC even, right? It was all about e-content. Then it was the second stage, repurpose of the e-content. मतलब e-content जो बनाया हुआ है, उसको थोड़ा repurpose करके, modify करके अच्छे से बनाना है. ओके, एंड देन MOOC है, उसका एग्जिस्टेंस हुआ, और धीरे धीरे हमने सीखा, डेवलप किया, एज अ टीम वी वर्क एज अ EMRC टुगेदर, एंड देन अल्टीमेटली समझा कि भैया MOOC क्या है. ओके, एंड देन फाइनली वी ग्रो अप लाइक दैट. बट अभी जो स्टेज है, इसमें यू पीपल आर वेरी वेरी लकी, बिकॉज एवरीथिंग इज अवेलेबल, राइट? पहले जो प्रपोजल करना था सबमिट, तो उसमें भी इट वाज लाइक हार्ड बाउंडेड, और उसमें भी प्रिंटेड वॉल्यूम वो भेजना है, वहाँ पे आपको फिजिकल कॉपी भेजना है, उसके ऊपर कमेंट आएगी, वापस पता लगेगा. इट वाज ऑल ट्रबलसम. अभी देखो आप कितना इजी हो गया. जो मैम ने समझाया उसके बाद आप यहाँ पे ऑनलाइन सीधा आप अप्लाई, आज रात को ही अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं, यू कैन डू इट. वाई? बिकॉज आपका वीकली प्लान आपके पास रेडी हो सकता है, आपका सेशन प्लस आपके पास रेडी है, तो सिंपली गेट सेट गो, नथिंग एल्स टू बी डन, इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ हाफ एन आवर जॉब. Right? So the point is, when you apply, let us assume now the next stage. The next stage is getting a MOOC in hand, and let's say there is a good news that you have MOOC in your hand. Okay. And the good news is, you know, your proposal for XYZ, HR madam का था, तो HR management के ऊपर आपका proposal है वो accept हो गया. Okay. Now with this good news, what is the second stage? How would you start? How would you start? स्क्रिप्ट, डायरेक्टली स्क्रिप्ट के आ जाओगे. आप अपनी टीम को बोलोगे 4-5 लोग हैं, चलो यार अपना काम हो गया है, एंड लेट्स गो अहेड. यू स्टार्ट राइटिंग द स्क्रिप्ट. ओके, वन स्क्रिप्ट इज डन. वुड यू राइट डाउन ऑल 40 स्क्रिप्ट्स? हमने अभी 1 मॉड्यूल इज इक्वल टू 10 अगर ले रहे हैं, मल्टीप्लाई बाय 4 यूनिट्स, 40 यूनिट्स पूरा स्क्रिप्ट आप लिख के उसके बाद चालू करेंगे. व्हाट वुड यू डू? एक ही बना के रिकॉर्ड करेंगे, 3-4 बना के रिकॉर्ड करेंगे? पैरेलल भी हो सकता है. स्क्रिप्ट राइटर, somebody is a script writer and somebody is a presenter, and the things will go in flow. आप गोवा से लिखो, आप नॉर्थ ईस्ट से लिखो, आप हैदराबाद से लिखो, मैं यहाँ पे बैठे बैठी प्रेजेंटेशन कर रही हूँ. पॉसिबल? पॉसिबल. when you have it, that is why I said write down, identify very good team members. And if you have a very good team, then it's all done. That it's very, very easy for you, right? So it can be parallel. You are rightly saying that you need not to make all 40 scripts और उसके बाद एक दिन EMRC में जाएंगे, एक वीक बैठ जाएंगे और एक वीक पूरा प्रेजेंटेशन खत्म कर डालेंगे. वैसा वाला कुछ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. But important is, again, when you are going in a class, you are going with some journal, you are going with some magazine, you are going with some case study that you want to give, you are going with some role play that you want to, you know, do your make your students do, okay, or perform. You're going with assignment, you're going with MCQs, you're going with internal exams, you're going with external exams. Same story here. Everything is online. बस उसको बोल दिया गया है कि भैया ये क्वाड्रेंट है, राइट? सो द वीडियो एंड ऑडियो क्वाड्रेंट 1, क्वाड्रेंट 2, क्वाड्रेंट 3, क्वाड्रेंट 4, विच यू माइट हैव लर्न सो फार. आई एम नॉट टचिंग दैट पार्ट, यू हैव लर्न दैट, राइट? ओके, सो उसको सिर्फ जोन 1, जोन 2, जोन 3, जोन 4 बोला गया है, बट अल्टीमेटली वो है क्या? इट इज सिंपली वॉट यू आर डूइंग इन अ क्लास. And that's why I'm saying that it's very, very easy and the easiest job. Why? Because whatever you are doing in a class, the same story you need to perform over here. The only thing is, here I'm talking to you and there I'm talking in front of camera. यहाँ पे भी कैमरा है वैसे. But then in general, when you are going for recording, whatever I'm talking over here, okay, there I'm talking the same story. But important is, वहाँ पे in front of camera अभी आ रहा है आपका. When you are in front of camera, we have to make sure and we have to be conscious about the things that we have to talk upon and the things that we have not to talk upon. In the sense, when you go in a class, many a time it happens कि session 1 हमने plan किया था introduction to accounting or introduction to HR. I went to the class, I started the class, एंड देन बीच में कुछ बच्चे ने कुछ क्वेश्चन रेज किया कि मैडम कंपनी में एचआर मैनेजमेंट कैसे होता है, और मेरे को इतना मज़ा आ गया, कोई कंपनी का एग्जाम्पल याद आ गया एंड देन मैं उसमें चली गई. आधे घंटे के बाद याद आया कि भैया ये 5 मिनट के अंदर क्लास खत्म होने वाला है. गेटिंग द पॉइंट? सो instead of sticking to the point that I should have stick upon, I went to somewhere else. अब वो somewhere else ना हो, उसके लिए you need to have a script. That is the purpose behind writing the script. The purpose behind writing the script, it is not of mugging up, not of copying and pasting, not of looking into the content that you have here, there. कभी कभी ऐसा बोलते हैं कि चलो HR है, अश्वत्थापा पकड़ो, ये पकड़ो, वो पकड़ो, 4 बुक पकड़ो, उसको रीड करो, उसका बना दो स्क्रिप्ट. वैसा नहीं होता है. Then where would you put your own mind? And that is where the originality comes in picture. So the purpose behind preparing the script is making sure that in that half an hour video, you give back whatever is required. You are exactly clear with what is the objective of this class. Suppose I have come and मैं इतनी सारी बातें किया और जो main point था वो तो side पे रह गया. How to face camera. वो तो side पे है. This is the title of the story and I am going somewhere else. If I have forgotten and if I am going in my own way, ultimately at the end of the day, the objective of the session is not served. That is the conclusion. And that should never happen. And so is the script and so is the PPT that you are preparing when you are in front of camera. Why? Because you have to be conscious that in this half an hour, I have to give fundamentals of HR, fundamentals of investment, fundamentals of biology, fundamentals of biochemistry, or fundamental of commerce, accounting, whatsoever is the subject is. Right? Second thing, when you are preparing this script, the second thing that we have to keep in mind is a language. Many a times what happens is, either you feel that कि यार बहुत easy language में नहीं लिखना है, या बहुत कुछ ऐसे words का हम use करते हैं कि when we are at the time of presentation, we are not clear in pronunciation of those words. So that is the second important thing that we have to keep in mind, that use a simple language so that the learner as well as you as a presenter both are clear. Because when you are in front of camera, again I'm in camera, okay, when you are in front of camera, we have to make sure about the way we are speaking, the punctuation marks that we have to put. If the question, if the sentence is in a question form, we have to be conscious that कि ये पढ़ रही हूँ मैं तो वो question को पढ़ना है मुझे. I have to put a question mark, I have to put explanation mark, I have to put full stop, I have to put comma. So when you are presenting, when you are in front of camera, the second important thing that is connected to your writing, हाँ? अभी सीधा हम कैमरा पे नहीं, हम writing से कैमरा के towards जा रहे हैं. So, while you are writing, you have to be conscious about what you are writing. You have to be conscious about the outline. And you have to conscious about if you are a presenter. Suppose I am writing a script and I am a presenter. तो मुझे तो पता ही होगा ना इसके बाद क्या आने वाला है. Right? इसके बाद मैंने objective डाले हैं. इसके बाद मैंने functions डाले हैं. Functions में 1, 2, 3, 4 because I have taught in a class also. So I know the subject in deep. Right? I have taught it in a class. And so the functionalities are known to me. Okay. So while you are in front of camera, you would not, we are telling to the students also, that if it is clear in your mind, you are confident. Right? Confidence will come when you have written or when you have read the script. It is in the beginning stage, I am telling. Beginning stage pe wo hota hai. Before you go, before you, are in front of, you become a conscious. So, वो consciousness कब आएगा? When that consciousness will come? When you are not clear with the funda. Suppose आप हैं accounting के, पर आप script पढ़ रहे हैं biology के, तो बिल्कुल confidence नहीं आएगा. ठीक है? That would be merely reading. If I am a good orator और कुछ अच्छा reading मेरा है, ठीक है, कुछ भी करके मैं बोल लूँगी. But then that would be there in my face कि हाँ ये biology को इतना बोल रहे हैं पर इनका दिमाग biology में चल रहा है ऐसा लग नहीं रहा है. Getting the point. So when you are writing, you have to be very, very sure about what you are writing. And secondly, you have to make sure that आपके team member ने लिखा है और आप presenter हैं. It is your duty to go with reading only. उसको एक बार अच्छे से रीड करो. उसमें ऑब्जेक्ट सीधा जाके वहाँ पे आप प्रेजेंटेशन स्टार्ट करोगे तो वो चलेगा नहीं. थर्ड स्टिंग. How many of you went to the studio and faced the camera? All of you, right? Okay. What was the feeling? How you felt? Tell me. Yes. Sorry? Can you be louder so that... Three times you got fail in front of camera. I mean, you started and then you stop. You started and then you stop. Okay. So that happens because of the consciousness. Because we are feeling that, oh my God, I'm in front of camera. अभी मेरा ध्यान अगर कैमरा में होगा तो मैं क्या पढ़ा रही हूँ उसमें ध्यान नहीं रहेगा, मेरा ध्यान कैमरा में. Instead, if your attention is on the content, that's why I said writing. That's why I'm connecting it to the writing and not straight away camera. How to face a camera? तो वो तो ठीक है, टेक्निकल चीज़ है. आंखें आपकी सीधी रखो, होठ आपके ऐसे रखो, बाल आपके ऐसे रखो, ऐसे तैयार होके जाओ. Very 4-5 important tips. But then, if you're clear with the content, you'll never be conscious. Okay, so that is one. Okay, what else? Yeah. Over consciousness. Okay, how? I mean, how you're defining your over consciousness? वन वे अच्छा है या इतने सारे लोग 100 लोग आपको सुन रहे हैं और आप बोल रहे हैं वो अच्छा है? देखा जाए तो two way is good. Okay, so for teachers she is saying two way is always good. Fine. So you feel over conscious. In a sense you are in front of camera. That is hanging in your mind and because of that ना तो smile आ रही है और ना कुछ और आ रहा है. वो बाहर नहीं है. That's why this session is like that. Okay, that has been set like that. Either you go before and मैंने बोला पहले जाने दो कैमरा के आगे और भी पता लगेगा उनको, right? Rather than theory, it would be more of practical. Yeah. क्योंकि या तो मेरा ध्यान वहां पे था या तो वहां पे कुछ खटका उधर ध्यान चला गया. मतलब मेरी आईज जो है वो इधर है, इधर है, इधर है, इधर है, राइट? एंड सो द अदर पार्टी विल अंडरस्टैंड दैट आइदर यू आर रीडिंग. ओके. Right. So you were again back of mind. She was having that consciousness कि यार मैं जो करना है वो अच्छे से नहीं कर रही हूँ. मुझे जो बोलना है वैसे नहीं बोल रही हूँ. जैसे मुझे प्रेजेंटेशन करना है वैसे मैं नहीं कर रही हूँ. And my face looks conscious like that. Okay. Yeah. Yes, please. Correct. Correct. That is a different thing. You have to be attentive. You have to be just there. Not here, not here. अगर थोड़ा सा भी ऐसे कैमरामैन की और लाइटमैन की और या कहीं और गया तो उधर आपका कट. पूजा मैम और ये सब लोग बोलेंगे कट फिर से. यस. That is because of which. Okay. 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 Fine. Yes. Correct. Correct. Back of mind you have to keep. मतलब parallelly you have to think how would I look like if I speak this statement. Control करके, curtail करके, and then within that boundaries, you need to face the camera. Correct, correct. You wanted to say something. Yes? There's a difference between the presentations and facing the camera. That's what you want to say? Can you be louder? Correct. Right, right. But then, yeah, you are correct. Taking a session is a different than facing the camera. But yes, okay. Now, anyone else want to say something? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Correct. You were very conscious because you were feeling that you are reading. You're feeling that okay. Correct, correct. And so now with the practicals that you had, you have understood now that you were conscious. You have understood that you were feeling back of mind that I am reading. My face doesn't look like that. My dress doesn't look like the way I want and the things. I'll say this camera will change your personality also. How I'll tell you later on. Okay, but yes, when you are saying facing a camera or when you are saying how to be in front of camera, it's not a matter of worry. Ultimately, it's a matter of practice, right? प्रैक्टिसिंग जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आज मैं 2016 और 17 वाले वीडियो में देखती हूँ तो मुझे लगता है अरे यार क्या मतलब मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है राइट एंड देन प्रेजेंटली इफ आई प्रेजेंट देन आई एम कॉन्शियस कि हाँ ऐसे लगना है ऐसे ये वो एंड देन आई आस्क दिस पीपल लिपस्टिक बराबर है स्माइल बराबर है बाल बराबर है एंड लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट इज हैपनिंग वी आर मोर कॉन्शियस अबाउट वंस यू सी ये तो आपने बैठ के देखा एंड नाउ एक बार आपका रिकॉर्ड हो गया और वो वीडियो देख लेंगे तो अपने आप को आप बहुत गाली देंगे कि द वे आई टॉक द वे आई प्रोनाउंस द वे आई एक्सप्रेस नहीं हाथ नहीं जोड़ने हैं हमको उससे बाहर आना है बहुत कॉन्शियस नहीं होना है दैट इज वाई दिस सेशन इज देयर नीड नॉट टू बी कॉन्शियस एट ऑल इट इज ऑल देयर इन योर माइंड्स इट इज ऑल देयर इन योर ब्रेन्स इट इज ऑल देयर हियर कि हाँ यार ऐसा मैं कर रही हूँ वो छोड़ो आपको ऐसा दिमाग में रखना है कि यू आर टीचिंग टू द क्लास ओके नंबर 1 नंबर 2 इज आप रीड कर रहे हैं पर आपको वो ब्रेन का और अपना बॉडी लैंग्वेज का सीधा कनेक्शन होगा राइट आप बार बार अपने दिमाग को बोल रहे हैं मैं रीड कर रही हूँ मैं रीड कर रही हूँ मैं रीड कर रही हूँ तो वो रीड कर रहे हैं उस हिसाब से ही जाएगा राइट द पॉइंट इज व्हेन यू आर presenting in front of camera no one should understand that you are reading right अगर सामने वाले को वो पता लग गया मतलब लगता ही है सबको पता ही है राइट बट द पॉइंट इज एज अ प्रेजेंटर बिकॉज दैट विल लीड अदर्स टू लूज द इंटरेस्ट द व्यूअर राइट जो देखने वाला है हम लोग कोई बोला ना यूट्यूब में इतने सारे वीडियोज आते हैं अगर बंदा जो बोलने वाला है राइट उसके अंदर दम है तो हमारी आंखें रुक जाती है अदरवाइज नेक्स्ट वीडियो राइट सो वो आपको ध्यान में रखना है ना वो ध्यान में आपको वो ध्यान में नहीं रखना है कि मैं कैमरा देख रही हूँ आपको वो ध्यान में रखना है कि आपके व्यूअर्स आपको देख रहे हैं हाउ वुड दे फील इफ दे सी दैट वीडियो राइट सो द पॉइंट इज व्हेन यू आर इन फ्रंट ऑफ कैमरा नंबर 1 इज ड्रेस वेल अच्छा ड्रेसिंग आपका होना चाहिए ठीक है नंबर 2 इज लिपस्टिक जैसे मेरी बात करूँ तो मैं कभी लिपस्टिक नहीं लगाती थी राइट दिस EMRC पूजा मैडम एंड द टीम मेंबर्स ठीक है मैम थोड़ा लगा लो अच्छा लगेगा एंड देन आई रियलाइज कि हाँ यार लिपस्टिक बिना का फेस एंड लिपस्टिक वाला फेस देयर इज अ वास्ट डिफरेंस दिस इज वेरी सिंपल थिंग आई एम टेलिंग यू नो योर हेयर स्टाइल योर ड्रेसिंग स्टाइल द वे यू स्पीक द वे यू प्रोनाउंस द वे योर पर्सनैलिटी चेंज वो बोलते हैं ना साइड इफेक्ट पॉजिटिव साइड इफेक्ट एंड नेगेटिव इसमें नेगेटिव कुछ भी नहीं किया इट इज ऑल पॉजिटिव ओनली राइट इट लीड्स यू टू बी कॉन्शियस सो इंस्टेड ऑफ बीइंग कॉन्शियस अबाउट यू आर रीडिंग instead if you are conscious that your viewers are going to see your video and you have to make sure that आपका जो वीडियो है एकदम दमदार बने आप ऐसा दिमाग में रखेंगे तो फिर देखो फिर आप भूल जाओगे वो रीडिंग अरे भैया रीडिंग से दिमाग हटा कहाँ पे दिमाग रखना है the way in which you are presenting okay so very important thing that I would like to highlight over here number 1 is before going towards the camera number 1 is dress well okay आपका हर एक चीज आपको because आपका अगर बैठे हैं तो इतना पोर्शन खड़े हैं तो पूरा का पूरा okay your body language your posture your gesture very important जैसे hand movements हैं किसी ने बोला बाउंड्री के बाहर जाता है right so we have to be conscious ओवर आप हाथ ऐसे हिला हिला के बात करते हैं तो भी फिर कैमरा में एक मेरा वीडियो है जो मुझे आज भी पसंद नहीं आ रहा है इट इज़ वेरी गुड प्रोमो उसका कंटेंट बहुत अच्छा है बट मुझे वो देख के हमेशा ऐसे याद आता है कि क्या यार हाथ ऐसे 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 मतलब इट इज़ नॉन स्टॉप गोइंग ऑन यू आर नॉट कॉन्शियस एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम You don't realize that. But once you see that, you realize that, oh my God, this is happening like this. So in the next video, when you are preparing, you will never do that. And that's why I said it's matter of revision. It's matter of looking at yourself, evaluating. You are best judge for yourself. There is no one on this earth. किसी का हम मानते भी नहीं है. अगर कोई बोले ना बहुत अच्छा किया तो भी हम बोलेंगे हमको पता है कैसे किया. Right? So we are not believing in people. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we are believing in yourself, and one should believe upon self. उसके लिए वही करना पड़ेगा कि आपको वो टाइम थोड़ा डिवोट करना पड़ेगा अपने ही वीडियो के पीछे. अब उसमें क्या होता है, पसंद नहीं आता है कभी कभी कि नहीं नहीं बहुत बेकार हुआ था मेरा ये, ठीक है. तो बेकार हुआ था तो क्या बेकार हुआ था, लेट अस लिस्ट डाउन दैट एंड लेट अस मेक श्योर दैट इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो इट डजंट happen. Okay, so when you are in front of camera, when you are preparing a promo, a small promo that I would like to show over here, and there is again not a goal of marketing self, but the goal is something else which you would realize in a 2 minutes. Okay, so let's say this is an introductory video of the course that I have developed. Okay, now here when we are talking about camera, what I would like all of you is to observe and observe well, because I will ask some questions over here at the end or maybe in between the video. Okay, by the way, EMRC team, you tell me when I have to end the session, otherwise I can take for 3 hours also. I will go on and on, lot of things in mind. Yes, आवाज नहीं आएगा? Fine, आवाज नहीं आ रहा है, well and good. You need to see the cameras, right? हो रहा है तो देखो, otherwise I'm talking about cameras. That is not an issue to me, right? I will ask some of the questions, so you need to observe it well. The pluses and minuses. नो प्रॉब्लम, देख लीजिए अपना ऑब्जेक्टिव वैसे भी कैमरा है, सो आवाज़ नहीं भी आएगी तो अपने अपने यूट्यूब में बाद में वो लोग देखेंगे, बट द मेन फोकस इज ऑन no voice. Okay, anyways, so you have to observe here camera. I'm in front of camera. Okay, our objective is also not a volume and this and that. Let us